It's so hard to find simple, beautiful men's jewelry. Rings, bracelets, necklaces, like everything is cheap, but I just wanted nicely made jewelry. And it didn't have to cost, I love Cartier, but it didn't have to cost Cartier prices or Chrome Hearts prices. I wanted to fill this piece of having a brand that is attainable, whether you wanted a $300 chain or a $30,000 chain. So my name is David Perry. I am the owner and founder of David Perry Jewelry. I love jewelry from my background in fashion. I worked at Tom Brown, I worked at Adidas, and I was always very product driven, but really where it came to light is I'm a runner. I'm a marathoner specifically. And I would return after all these races, and I'd want my medal. I don't want to wear the race medal. I just never thought that was like cool. So I would purchase just pre-made chains in Chinatown, and just to celebrate myself being a young 20s guy who ran marathons. And then after a few of these races, people assumed, oh, you make those, like, can you make me one? So I actually really had to, embrace the fire and learn how to make gold chains, and that's where it started. I would describe the brand as a luxury jewelry brand. It's a brand that doesn't make compromises for the way in which it's produced. I only use pure metals, nothing's ever plated. Stones are natural and ethically sourced. It can be worn through any circumstance. So I build it for your marathon to rolling jiu-jitsu. For me, luxury is that intangible and reaching that, and I think the consistency of sport and investing in oneself, like the mantra of the brand, you are yours, you are your greatest gift, you're your greatest asset, that is so luxurious, and that's so deeply within sport. Building the brand of David Perry, I will say, it's constantly ongoing. I always try to be very agile with how the brand is growing. I know the through point, and the through point has also taken me 5 years to realize that I love the luxury industry, but for me, the red thread of my life has been athletics, and that's bringing those two worlds of luxury and sport together in jewelry helps me continue to develop the brand. Every season, of course, is different. You mentioned the Cotswolds. Season 3, and then season 4 was very, from a manufacturing standpoint, showing Los Angeles. That's where everything is made. So these seasons really depict dreams of mine. So I think for Cotswolds, I went to a wedding in rural England, and it's kind of life-changing to see stone castles and just long, open, beautiful roads with like lush greenery and just pissing rain. Like, I think there's such beauty in that, and I wanted to reenact that within the brand. And what would be, the day I woke up and the fire's burning, coffee's hot, it's raining, but you're still running. You're still investing in yourself. There's a huge resurgence of men wearing jewelry. I mean, I'm making brooches. People are just much more comfortable with accessories. I think you're a man and you have your watch. That's all it's been for a long time, and a wedding band, and it's a general band. It's been really interesting to see who's walking through my door, and I think a lot more men are approaching jewelry in a much different way, which obviously I love. And I think, as Pharrell Williams just said, it's the punctuation mark on your personality through your outfit. The sales process is really interesting. I like when clients come into my space with me, because I don't feel like a salesman, honestly. I know that my product is really beautiful, and no one ever wants to return things. If anything, people they see one chain, they see another, one's more expensive, it's heavier, it's a different gauge, whatever it might be, and they'll come back for that later, or they'll want to grow into that piece. So for people, it's that trust component of that. I'm not trying to sell them something they don't need, but you're in my office because you want jewelry. Like, jewelry is not not a need-based thing. It's definitely a want. However, it's a big identifier, and I think it's a really interesting piece to express yourself. It's an investment long term because it's a pure metal. And what I will say is the biggest part of my process is honesty. For a business that's really grimy, anyone that goes up to 47th Street here in New York can tell you that it's a weird, it can be just a grimy business. And my truth and transparency, people come back for that. It should be white glove, it should be a nice experience, but people should feel like they got taken care of and not taken advantage of.
Do you separate David Perry the person versus David Perry the brand?
Yeah, it's something I go back and forth on, because it's like you asked about, starting the brand, and then I talked about investment. Like, it's my name, and my name is trademarked, and so I can't fail. Like, I can't fail. So I think that was a really gutsy thing to do from the jump. However, I did that because that's what the people that I believe in and look up to, the Cartier brothers and father who started the brand, and those very historic luxury houses, like that's how they do it, and I want to be of that category. So for me, I've wanted to really showcase the brand through me, because I know what I love, and other people identify with that too, whether it's sport or luxury. And I think through those houses and my name, David Perry, I'm a second generation David Perry, and I think it's a beautiful thing to pass down lineage. Jewelry is something that I still have a signet ring from my grandfather, and it was my great grandfather, and I think that's a beautiful thing about jewelry, is it's passed down, and that's what I hope to do with the brand, is pass it down to future generations of David Perrys. Really excited for the next chapter of the business. Definitely, I am investing into sport heavily, because it's such a big red thread of my life and the purpose and people around me. You're going to see a lot more sport when it comes to David Perry.